G'day, this is Central Coast Newspaper's weekly news 5 at 5 for the first week of February 2023. In the bulletin this week, an end to train disruptions, Council's administrator answers his critics, Wetlands debate erupts, Mariners put on an incredible match, gardening in the humidity and heat, and emerging artists highlighted at the Regional Gallery. So Central Coast commuters can rest easy with the New South Wales Government and unions finally agreeing to a new enterprise agreement for rail workers following a year of intense negotiations and extensive industrial action. Minister for Transport David Elliott said it was, quote, a significant and successful outcome for rail employees and commuters and includes modest pay rises and safety investments. The enterprise agreement will now be lodged with the Fair Work Commission for final approval. Now, the council administrator, Rick Hart, has answered questions from his harshest critic, citizen Kevin Brooks, this week in an interview with Central Coast newspapers. Citizen Brooks penned a forum piece in the papers criticising council's large rate rises and debt repayment methods. What is the rate increase, the special rate variation, for over the 10 years?
The first thing we need to talk about is there's two separate elements. The first element is our trading position and whether we're earning more than we're spending. So the second problem we had was we ran out of cash. Mm-hmm. Now, the conditions the bank imposed was, firstly, you have to increase your revenue. You see, the rate increase was to get the trading position right, and it was not directly going from the rate increase to repay the loan. It was the profit or the surplus left over after trading that went towards repaying the loan.
Council management has come under more harsh criticism this week on World Wetlands Day. The Community Environment Network has spoken out directly about development threats to both the Porters Creek and Spring Creek wetlands. We spoke with CEN's spokesperson, Jackie Pearson.
The Community Environment Network is very concerned about Central Coast Council's lack of care and protection for at least two of our most important wetlands on the coast. Porters Creek wetland is our biggest freshwater wetland, and it is also our reserve water supply, drinking water supply. It is drowning. Porters Creek wetland has quite a large catchment and it's increasingly being developed. Now, originally a condition of allowing the catchment of the wetland to be developed was proper stormwater management for the wetland. And council, under administration, has backed away from that. We skimmed through the economic strategy that's just been put out by the Greater Cities Commission for the Central Coast and find a photograph on about page 19 of the Central Coast Airport runway extended right through the Porters Creek wetland.
Now, the Central Coast Mariners fans left Industry Group Stadium in Gosford happy with a 2-2 draw against the Wanderers last Saturday night, as they knew they'd witnessed a high-class and high-intensity football match of the very best order, with some critics going as far as saying it was proof the A-League competition was fast becoming a world-class act. Mariners coach Nick Montgomery was pleased with his playing squad, saying, quote, I was very proud of the team last night, 5 or 6 academy boys in there, and I couldn't be more proud. Goals to Sammy Silvera and Jason Cummings on the 30th and 73rd minutes respectively proved once again the scoring capacity of the Mariners team. The Mariners now look to Saturday afternoon's game against old rival Sydney FC at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. Now let's pop over to our gardening guru, Sherilyn, for some cool tips in the hot and humid weather.
I'm Sherilyn Darcy and this is the gardening news. The CEN Wild Plant Sale and Talk with Jacqueline Pearson is on Saturday the 4th of February at 9 a.m. Pop along, it's at Loop Road, the University of Newcastle Central Coast Campus, Arimba. There's a free wicking bed workshop online at 6:30 p.m. on the 22nd of February. It's all part of the National Sustainability Month. You can join Adam Grubb from Very Edible Gardens to learn all about it. There's volunteers wanted at the Doyleson Community Garden. An interest in gardening or a willingness to learn is important.
Now, this week's 41 local stories can be found on our local news website, coastcommunitynews.com.au, and in this week's print paper, out now on Thursdays. Or find us via your mobile phone's Google News and Apple News apps, and follow our socials, or listen to our bulletin on Radio 50 Plus 93.3 FM. Now, we leave you this week with news from the Regional Gallery at East Gosford. Emerging artists are on show from Friday, February 3, chosen from the Central Coast Council's biennial Emerging Art Prize, worth $5,000. The sought-after prize accepted submissions from 18 to 30-year-olds all over New South Wales. The winner will be announced this weekend, and the 6 finalists for the prize are now on show until late March. I'm David Abrahams for Central Coast Newspapers. Have a great weekend and thanks for tuning in.